Family, it's your favorite queer radio personality, Anna DeShawn, here with another episode of our Queer News Podcast. Now, this one is already a lot different, right? Absolutely. It's going to be unedited, and I'm dropping an announcement that I want y'all to hear, and I have to say thank you.
You are now tuned in to higher frequencies. We do this frequently. Turn your radio station to E3 for that decency. Listen to great music and the latest movement. Safe listening for anyone that's tuned in. Who you waking up to? Anna DeShawn, QCrew and friends. It's that real talk. Online radio with the spins. You caught up in traffic, frustrated. Just check in with E3 to shift your vibrations and get elevated. That's queer radio done right. Choose to be yourself. That's the only way to live life, and that's how it's done here. Just know y'all tuned in to the greatest. Ain't no competition. We ain't worried about the other stations. Check.
All right. We have a producer. Yay! We have a producer. And if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you probably heard it started to sound a little bit different just a few weeks ago and improved. I would say, I think it's much improved. I can edit, but editors edit. Do you feel what I'm saying? And so I am so excited to announce that Day is our new producer of the Queer News Podcast. And that comes along with a big thank you to the QCrew, the membership program that we started about a month or two ago to bring in money to help us expand our capacity. I was a one-person show in my office, right? And now we're a two-person show. I'm still in my office, but they make me sound amazing. They have tapped into the essence of the podcast, and I think y'all can tell that. I think y'all can hear that, and I hope so. And I hope y'all can hear the difference over the last 3 weeks versus what I was doing, right? Gosh, it is a blessing. Day is a blessing to this show. And so once again, thank you to all the QCrew. Thank you to everyone who's thinking about joining the QCrew. You can join for as little as $5 a month, you know? $60 a year. That's the price of less than Starbucks, I'd imagine. And the whole idea here is to expand our capacity, to grow the opportunities that we have to reach more folks, to tell queer news, to center our stories. And we're doing that. We're on our way. And so thank you so much, Day, for everything. And what woke me up this morning and got me fired up for the day was that Day edited together a reel for the podcast. And it's needed because I was looking to submit the podcast to the Black Pod Awards, and they mandate and require that you have a reel. And I hadn't had one. I don't have one until now, until Day. And so the end of this podcast is going to have that reel, and I hope that you all enjoy it, okay? I want to come to you all also and say, this is sort of the essence of the videos that I share with the QCrew every Sunday, giving a recap of how I'm feeling about the top stories from the previous week. It's unedited. It is in video form versus audio. But for anyone who's considering joining the QCrew, this is sort of the flavor of that. I just sort of speak from my heart. And this month has been very challenging. It's been a tough month. It's probably been the toughest month since I quit my corporate job in February of 2021. Because I've gotten a lot of big no's that I thought would be yeses. And my family on Facebook and my family in life and has had to remind me that the no's are necessary, that the no's are part of this process, and that it makes the yeses even sweeter. And I have no doubt about that, but y'all already know when you're going through it. When you're going through it, it's real. Those no's hurt. They are disappointing. They deserve to be mourned, okay? Because I worked hard to submit those applications and to do the work required, right? And so no's hurt, and that's just facts. And so I will say that when I get that next yes, it is going to be a lot sweeter. It's going to hit me a lot different than a yes would have hit me 3 weeks ago. But I am working on sitting in all the gratitude, because even with the no's, there have been a lot of amazing opportunities this month, and I can't wait to share them with you. I can't say much about them right now, but there are some opportunities working, and they are making my heart smile. And I can't wait. I can't wait to actually share that information with you. But I can share this, that I've had some life-giving conversations this month with Q podcasters. So I set aside a lot of time this month to talk to the podcasters who've been accepted into the Cube. And y'all know the Cube, it's the app that we're building. It's my brainchild that we are bringing to life to amplify the amazing work of Black, Indigenous people of color and queer trans people of color in the podcasting space. The app is coming and we're so close. We are so close. But I've been talking to these cute podcasters and their conversations have given me so much life and energy this month when I needed it the most, when I was at my lowest moments this month. They have filled me up and I'm so grateful. I'm also grateful this month we dropped our first exclusive interview, with Felicia D. Henderson, who is the showrunner, executive producer, writer for First Kill that is currently on Netflix. And so if you join the QCrew, you can watch that exclusive interview. And I hope to have more exclusive interviews with folks like Miss Felicia D. Henderson, who is absolutely a powerhouse, okay? A Black woman in Hollywood doing her thing. And she made time for us, okay? She made time for the Queer News podcast, and I'm grateful for that. I also want to share some things that we're going to report on this week, right? And so today marks the 158th day that BG has been wrongfully detained. She's back in court. Today is probably the 26th in Russia. So July 26th, she's back into court. So we'll definitely have another update this week. I will also say, the New York Post published an article that said that Trump is, quote, unworthy to be chief executive again, which is a really big deal because that publication is owned by Rupert Murdoch. And y'all know a lot of Republicans read that. And so I do believe that the January 6th hearings are having an impact. Yeah, they are telling the story that we all need to hear. And it plays out in a very real way, in a very public place. And so that's a big deal. So following that story, I'm also praying for everybody that's being affected by the California wildfires. The pictures are chilling and they give me chills. And God bless the 2,500 firefighters that are over there trying to save land. I mean, the fires have destroyed 15,000 acres of land since Friday. Y'all, it's Monday. And people had to evacuate their homes. It's just not something I've never had to deal with as a person who's grown up in the Midwest and in Chicago, and stayed and lived out east for a little while. Wildfires is just not a thing in my world. And so I can't even imagine. So if you're a praying person, send up some prayers for those folks there. And something that brought me so much joy yesterday. The Black Panther 2 trailer is out and it is fire. It is fire. So I put a link in the show notes. So if you haven't seen it, you can go watch it ASAP. And I'm not trying to keep y'all too long. I just wanted to announce that we got a producer for the show who's doing an amazing job. Day is primarily editing at the moment. They also have written the scripts. So we also are looking for a writer, someone who wants to write the scripts, who writing and sourcing stories brings you joy. It doesn't bring Day that much joy, okay? It doesn't bring me that much joy. We can do it, but to have someone do the work where sourcing stories and writing the scripts bring them joy would make this podcast even better. All right. But Day is primarily editing and making this whole thing sound amazing and doing an amazing job. And I want y'all to hear this real. I hope y'all enjoy it. I'm excited about it. Let's go. Family.
7 minutes a day.
Family.
5 days a week.
This is your favorite queer radio personality.
And it's gonna bring you the daily.
Family.
Queer news, queer news.
Family. This is your favorite queer radio personality, Anna DeShawn, with our queer news for today.
You caught up in traffic, frustrated. So tune into E3 to shift your vibrations and get elevated. Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's your favorite queer radio personality, Anna DeShawn, with our queer news for today.
No, we ain't worried about them other stations, yeah.
Now, I want to make you a promise. We will continue to bring you the latest in queer news, culture, and politics. 7 minutes a day, 5 days a week. So if you're digging our intersectional take on the daily, consider joining the QCrew. The QCrew is our monthly membership program we started to help us grow the podcast. With your help, we can bring you more stories celebrating our lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and comrade communities. Now, you've shown your support by tuning into this episode, and you can show your curiosity by clicking the link in the show notes to learn more about the QCrew.
Family, this is Anna DeShawn, founder of E3 Radio, and I'm dropping by to say Happy Pride. Celebrate who you are. You are beautifully and wonderfully made. Always remember that. Always remember that. Happy Pride, and thank you for listening.
Now for the news. We have key updates on the movement to bring BG home. Brittney Griner has been wrongfully detained for 118 days. BG has been wrongfully detained for 132 days, for 134 days, 138 days. Well, yesterday, after 4 months of being detained, a Russian court scheduled Brittney Griner's trial to start Friday, July 1st. From the media coverage we've seen, Brittney Griner has gone from being ignored to wrongfully detained to essentially being a political prisoner. That's if her story actually gets covered at all by mainstream media outlets. Brittney Griner's wife says she has zero trust. You hear me, family? Zero trust in the government to secure her wife's release. Brittney, who has been held in Russia since her arrest at a Moscow airport on allegations of attempted drug smuggling, attended her preliminary hearing in person yesterday morning. BG has been wrongfully detained for 155 days. For those of you who may not have heard, there was a body found near Lake Michigan in Evanston on Thursday, and it was identified as Elise on Saturday morning. I was hoping this wouldn't be the story I was reporting, but this is in fact our reality. Yesterday, a vigil took place to honor the life of Elise, a daughter, a sister, a friend, and a fearless advocate for the trans community here in Chicago. To have known Elise is to know what kindness really is and how it can show up in the world. Monday kicked off Trans Week of Visibility. Now, Trans Week of Visibility occurs annually the week of March 31st, which is the International Transgender Day of Visibility. This event was started in 2009 by Michigan-based transgender activist Rachel Crandall as a way to celebrate the transgender community in all of its diversity. It's an opportunity to acknowledge the discrimination our trans fam faces as well every single day. So in that spirit, we will honor Elise, as yesterday would have been her 32nd birthday. It's still really surreal that she's no longer with us, and remember, her family has a GoFundMe to raise money for her funeral expenses. I've included a link in the show notes in case you have a few dollars to contribute. I also want to speak Tatiana's name again today. I spoke about her on Friday's podcast, and her story was just not amplified the way it should have been. She was dead named across the media, which made it even difficult for me to find her story. I hope they can find who murdered her, but so often they don't. Tatiana, we speak your name today. Now, y'all know we always end with a word. The word today is coming from Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm. She said, if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. This is one of my favorite quotes, and she brought her folding chair to so many tables that didn't want her present. She withstood numerous death threats and unending sexism on her journey so that we could have the opportunity to build our own tables. And my hope is that I'm accomplishing this with E3 Radio, with what we're building with the Cube, and everything else I can dream up in my imagination. Let us be the change, family. Till tomorrow, peace. This podcast is a production of E3 Radio, your #1 queer radio station playing queer music and reporting on queer news in high rotation.